This
is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here as we kick off another live Sunday edition of the program. With you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian,
Richie Rich,
and Melanie.
Of course, you can bring up anything that you want here on Free Talk Live. Coming up, Richie Rich, you're going to talk to us about traffic jams.
Problem solved.
Everybody hates. Well, apparently mathematicians are trying to solve this problem or believe they can.
The article says solved. They've solved it.
But the city planners are standing in the way.
Basically.
So we'll get into that and what exactly they have proposed to solve this issue that, well, basically troubles everyone who's ever driven anywhere for the most part. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. But first, to a disturbing police state Orwellian story out of London where they are bringing out the facial recognition cameras, according to various different news reports over the weekend here. This one coming from TheVerge.com, that they will be deployed across London, with the city's Metropolitan Police announcing recently that the technology has moved past the trial stage and is ready to be permanently integrated into everyday policing.
So they're finally going to stop all the knife crimes since they took away all the guns?
I doubt that.
Oh.
No. But, for years they've had these CCTV cameras up in London. I mean, it must have been more than a decade now since we first reported on the news about CCTV. And surprise, well, that was step number one, and now here's the next one, where not only are they going to have you on camera at all times, but they're going to use computer facial recognition technology to know specifically who you are on the camera, unless you use some of these creative masks and such that folks have been coming up with to kind of
obscure.
Yeah. You can still kind of see the person's face, right, in some of them, but it does tricks that the cameras don't like, that the cameras can't deal with, essentially, to make it much more difficult for their face to be recognized.
There was I don't know if you guys covered it on the show. There was like one of the more recent hacker conventions where they designed a T-shirt that had faces on it that fooled the facial recognition cameras.
So wait, you wouldn't have to put anything on your face itself? Just having so many faces just
some
tricks
sort of
it out?
shirt tricked it out. Yeah.
Wow.
So the hackers are already working on this.
I love those guys. Man.
I mean, I've had that happen with cameras where it just thought something else was a face.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that little, I don't know how yours works, but the little square that
it shows you what it thinks are faces. Right.
And I've had it if you're wearing something with a picture of a face, it'll pick up that, and sometimes it thinks other ovals are faces. So
right. So if there's maybe it's just too much data, it can't process all of those faces at the same time or something.
Which I always thought was a problem with London's CCTV cameras anyway. Right? They're so ubiquitous, they're so everywhere that there's no way.
They can't be monitored.
They can't be monitored. Right. And even if it was computer monitored and they were saving all the data, there's no way to process all that data with any efficiency should something go wrong.
Well, yeah, I mean, real-time monitoring, it's not going to be possible. They just don't have the bureaucracy for that. They don't have the staffing for it. It would be incredibly counterproductive to try to staff people to watch all those monitors. But I guess the idea is that having the cameras supposed to dissuade people from committing crimes, even though studies have shown since then that just having a plain old street light is more effective than having cameras around.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it's not going to stop them from moving, rolling forward with the police state, and the cameras will be placed in locations that are popular with shoppers and tourists, according to The Verge, like Stratford's Westfield Shopping Center and the West End, according to BBC News. Each camera will scan for faces contained in bespoke watch lists, which the Met says will predominantly contain individuals, quote, wanted for serious and violent offenses, unquote. When the camera flags an individual, police officers will approach and ask them to verify their identity. If they're on the watch list, they'll be arrested.
So papers, please. They can stop anyone who gets triggered
on
camera.
Yep. And remember, and now I don't know what system they're using here and how the testing has gone for it, But in previous iterations over the last couple of decades, and obviously the technology is better now than it's ever been, but it has been pretty dismal at actually recognizing people and frequently, identifying someone as not the person who it thinks it is. So that means that a lot of people are going to get hassled on the streets because they look kind of like the guy, or the computer thinks they look like the guy or gal they're looking for. That's right.
Yeah.
When the camera flags them. So again, the system which simply gives the police officers a prompt suggesting, hey, that person over there may be the person you're looking for, said the Metropolitan Police in a press release. Operational use of the cameras will only last for 5 or 6 hours at a time, said BBC News. I'm not sure why that would be.
So do your crimes outside of those 5 or 6 hours.
But the Met makes clear the use of this technology is to be the new normal in London. So I'm not sure why they're saying it would only operate for 5 to 6 hours at a time. Does it need to take a rest?
I don't know. Maybe it's just the busy times in downtown London, right?
It just doesn't make any sense, though. It's a computer. You can run the thing 24 hours a day. It doesn't care. It doesn't need a break. It's not going to get winded from. I guess if it has bad cooling, it could overheat or something like that. But
even if you need to do maintenance every day, like that's an hour or two, not 20 hours.
Yeah, it's very strange. I mean, I will say this: sometimes they release products to consumers that are not ready for prime time.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, we tried this 360 cam. You ever seen one of these things?
Yeah.
We just as like a gimmick, right? Like, okay, we're going to do a 360 broadcast online. Woo. Hey, come in, tune in, watch this. I still have the camera somewhere. I don't even know where it is, but it was so unimpressive. And I wasn't expecting it to be like amazing at the current stage that the technology was. Yeah. But the real problem with it was the thing did overheat. And it was in the instruction book that you could not use this thing for more than X number of 90 minutes or something like that, because it would fail.
Wow.
So like it literally wasn't ready for any real serious broadcasting. It was designed to be used for like a 10-minute thing where you do whatever thing you're doing in 360 and then you're done. It wasn't designed for a 3-hour long broadcast.
I mean, that's not that long a time. I mean, I've recorded for longer than 90 minutes, and if you're producing a movie or something like that.
Well, if you're producing a movie, you're probably stopping in between takes, but still, it wasn't designed to go more than a couple hours.
Consider the attention span of millennials, though.
Right. Yeah.
Like TikTok video is about as much as you can get.
It's 15 seconds.
15 seconds. So if your camera lasts for 10 minutes, you're golden.
That's enough.
Just do your video, put it away,
but
move along.
You're absolutely right. I mean, it wasn't marketed as a broadcast product. Yeah. And I was just shocked because I've never had that happen before, where a product that you could buy in the marketplace is just, it overheats.
I mean, but what's a recreational, a non-commercial use of a 360 camera? Just like to take
jump out of an
pictures
airplane or something, or do whatever.
Anything a GoPro does, but
play some kind of sports or whatever people want to experience in 360.
That seems not worth buying a whole extra camera for.
Well, you are not the target market apparently for this thing, and neither am I. Honestly, it's kind of a neat gimmick, but it really wasn't that it wasn't that great. And maybe someday it will be.
And they probably have higher grade professional ones.
Oh,
right?
I'm sure they do.
Because like some of the rides at Universal Studios or Disneyland, it's like the half dome, right? It's like all encompassing your field of view,
right?
Not 360, but 180.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to have the whole they probably use 360 cameras to get the whole field of view, and then they wrap it in post.
So you want to comment, you're welcome to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Robert is in Charleston, South Carolina, listening to WTMA. Go ahead, Robert.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to let you know that 20 years ago, I lived for a short time in a dormitory where I studied law in Dresden, Germany, and there were guys there who were studying computer technology, and they told me that you could also use the shape of the body, and particularly the way it moves. That those two in combination with each other.
The gait.
I'm sorry.
That's the term is the gait. One person's gait.
Entschuldigung, excuse me. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. What you said.
The word is gait. When you're talking about the way a person moves, that's their gait. G-A-I-T.
Yes.
Gait.
Gait. I understand. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. Yes, sir. Yeah. That's right.
Just trying to get it. That's all.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate
Hold that thought, Robert. I know you got more to say here, so stand by. We'll bring you back. Robert is in Charleston. You can join us just like that. It's so easy. You just call in toll free, 855-450, free like freedom. But if you want to sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us, all you got to do is call in on our Discord call-in line rooms. Just go to discord.lrn.fm and join one of the top 4 rooms in there. And we'll get you on the air with us on the live Sunday edition. Free Talk Live. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You want more businesses accepting Bitcoin, Cash, and Dash? Well, now with AnyPay, you can earn passive income for every purchase made at those businesses, because finally, AnyPay is the first, in my opinion, they're the first company, because I've been looking around for this for a long time, to offer an actual incentive to people to get new businesses on board with accepting cryptocurrency. So you make it happen, and you receive the rewards. Go download the AnyPay Cash Register app for iOS or Android devices and get your own account set up. Set your own cryptocurrency wallet addresses so you can get payouts. Then you go and install the AnyPay Cash Register app at a real-life business and tell them you did it over at anypayinc.com. That's anypayinc.com. As we continue here, we've been talking about facial recognition software. It is going into effect in London, and we've got more to tell you about that. It's creepy, and guess what? Don't think it's just going to stay in London. This is likely going to come to a city near you if governments get their way, and they tend to do that. Let's go to Robert in Charleston. You're back on Free Talk Live. Robert, you were talking about how they've been discussing this for decades.
Yes, exactly. And the other thing is you just mentioned the English. Actually, the Germans, in combination with the English, developed the newest system for facial recognition. That was a couple of years ago. And that's how they discovered who the troublemakers were in Cologne. Remember, the Syrians came and several hundred of them caused a big problem in Weihnachtsmarkt in Cologne, Germany, and Köln. And anyhow, they caught every last one of them because the English had the technology for the faces, and the Germans had the technology to high definition, and they had those pictures. So they put the two together, and they were able to grab them that way.
So you're in favor of this surveillance state?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's the only way, because you could have criminality going on left and right. They have, in some cities in America now, several cities, they have three airplanes flying around. How are you ever going to figure out who's murdering somebody under a bush or a tree? Or God only knows what.
Well, I mean, are you going to put a camera under every bush and under every tree?
No, I mean, I'm sorry. People could be murdered under every bush and every tree. And
right, but if there's not a camera there, then that's not going to help.
Yeah, I mean, are you for real? Are you really think that there should be cameras under literally every bush and tree in every park from every angle?
If it saves just one life.
I'll tell you how they handle this in Germany if you want to listen. They put a camera on top of the Hotel Merkur Dresden to watch the Pragerstrasse, which is the most visited street in Dresden. And they missed somebody breaking into a store. I happened to be on Pragerstrasse at the time somebody broke into a store. He just smashed right through the window, went to the cash register, grabbed the cash, and left, and they couldn't figure out who it was. But you know something? The Germans hate that when somebody says that their technology is not the absolute best. So I'm sure I had to leave 15 years ago, as I say, and shortly after that, but I'm sure they probably got that so straightened out that would never ever happen again, because they don't like to be embarrassed.
Why don't you go back? I mean, every time
the camera missed it. The camera missed the guy breaking in, and then so they.
That was right at the beginning when they were 15 years. That was.
Here's a tip: if there's a bunch of cameras around and you don't want to be seen, wear a balaclava.
They're going to ban that too, though.
Oh yeah, they will.
Oh no! Through your gate, they can notice who you are. Figure out who you are through your gate and your body shape as well. Those in combination, and they can narrow it down. Let's say they.
And you are getting excited about this, aren't you, Robert? You're all jazzed about this.
Well, crime is not good for anybody. I mean,
crime is bad. There's no doubt. But I'm sorry. I would rather take a risk of private crime than having the state, which is the most violent actor on the planet, have the ability to just go and round people up and know absolutely where everybody is at every moment of every day, so they can have more control over our lives. But you seem to salivate over that.
The state works for us. We don't work for them.
Okay, well, so I would like to take this opportunity to fire the state. Now what?
Right.
Oh, okay. Like I say, we can fire any one of them at any time. Even the president.
You can't.
You can pull them back from office. You can retire them. And
I actually can't. I do not have that power.
Look, I don't.
We do. The people of the United States of America do have that power. Those people all work for us, every last one of them.
So actually, the citizens, the population of the citizens cannot actually impeach the president. Yeah. Only Congress can do that.
How can you?
So they definitely can't fire the president. most...
If the president does something wrong, he'll be impeached. And if he doesn't, we'll remove every last one of those congressmen and senators who don't cooperate with an impeachment if it's necessary.
You can't really believe
so vote
the
Democrat,
words.
then.
Wait a minute. You can't really believe the words that are coming out of your mouth, right? I mean, you sure sound like you're older than 12.
One man can change this world. Just ask Vladimir Lenin, for example.
What?
Ask Vladimir Lenin.
I said one man can change the world. Just ask Vladimir Lenin, for example.
You mean talk to a mass murderer?
He wasn't really. He murdered a few people, it's true, but he wasn't.
Okay,
That's
not the kind of distinction that I like to make in my allies and friends. He only murdered a few people. No, that's not the bar we're going for.
Yeah, Robert, if you believe you have some control over the state, you are living in a complete fantasy land.
Look, I don't know the whole quote, but
Thank you for the call.
When it comes to street crime, right, the criminal must fear the victim, not the state, not the prosecutor, not the judge.
Sure.
Right. The criminals need to worry about being put down by
the moment
by whomever they're attacking.
Right. And in London, that's less likely than ever because you can't carry a gun. Or
a pointy knife.
Yeah. Didn't you bring in the photos of the rounded blade knives?
It's a squared blade knife.
Yeah.
Very cheap on sale, even in pounds.
Available in London.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's so hard to hear that call because it's a reminder that there really are people out there that believe what he believes. Oh, yeah, you don't like the government? We'll just fire them all.
I mean, that's even that was
elect them out of office.
That was delusional, even from this perspective of most statists. Even most
that's what I was
statists are
saying.
not under the impression that they can just go fire the president, and that if anybody does anything wrong, they'll be automatically fired.
We'll just replace the whole Congress, he says, as though that's ever been a possibility in the entire history of the United States.
In 2 years, when their term comes up, you elect them, you get all out, you put the new people in, and you see what they do.
Pure fantasy. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, for all the people who've been saying things like that year after year after year, it's never actually happened that incumbents lose their office in any significant number. Not even in any somewhat significant number. Incumbents stay in like a 90+% reelection rate. Yeah. It doesn't matter how much they've effed up or how angry people are or whatever. It just seems like when it comes to election time, no matter what the scandal, no matter what they've been caught with their fingers in the cookie jar or whatever, that almost always they get reelected.
Almost always. There are the outlier cases here and there.
So toll-free number tonight is 855-450-FREE. We will talk to Gary in Washington State listening to KITZ. Gary, where are you calling from? The Tacoma area?
No, I'm calling from a Navy town, Bremerton, Washington.
Welcome, sir.
I just feel you folks need a little bit of pushback here.
Okay, great.
Your fear of this facial recognition, I think is overblown. I would like to see it. It's just a matter of putting a lot more, in essence, it's like putting a lot more cops on every corner without all the expense.
I don't want that either.
But that means more people would get shot to death if we put more cops out on every corner. Hang on, Gary. I'll bring you back here. You can make more of your points that you want to make. So we got a bunch of people, well, not a bunch, but all callers so far on the side of facial recognition, on the side of more monitoring, more cameras, more police. 855-450-FREE. Is that a world that you want to live in? 855-450-3733, Free Talk Live.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, you dial in toll-free here at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Facial recognition cameras are in the streets. They're going to be, the cameras are already in the streets in London. They're going to be turning on facial recognition and or already have. I'm not sure exactly as to the timeline with this. But with you tonight, it's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Melanie.
That's what's in the news, and it's resulted in a couple calls so far of folks who, they're kind of excited about this. They think this is a good thing, that more cops is a good thing.
On every corner.
Yeah, to me, that's scary. I don't trust the police.
Sounds like an occupation.
The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. You can join us here. Also, I want you to know about Freedom's Phoenix. It's a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. And if you want the newest and freshest stories and perspectives from those who care about liberty, Freedom's Phoenix has it. You go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. They've got a daily dispatch. It's the best way to stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state over at freedomsphoenix.com. As we continue here, we still have Gary on the line with us. Gary sounds like, and he's listening in Washington State, sounds like you're kind of excited by this possibility. You want this to come to where you live, Gary?
Well, I first of all, I was thinking on the break there, I think we have some thought processes in common. I'd like to mention that at first.
Okay.
But as a side note, that Harvest of Sorrows would really illuminate anybody's opinion that Stalin didn't starve millions of people to death. It's a good documentary. Anyway, some things I think we
I
may
bet
have
Stalin
in
would have
common.
liked police recognition cameras. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, okay. I think some things we have in common here. Your best guarantee of freedom really is to vote and keep your guns. And a third thing would
how has voting? Hold on. How has voting guaranteed freedom?
Keep the schools out of the hands of the government. What was that you said?
I'm in favor of keeping the schools out of the hands of the government. So you're right. We do agree on that one.
Right.
But what has voting ever done to protect freedom? It seems like freedom is on the decline, even though people keep voting.
No, Trump is a good example. It went against the grain. Where for the first time we have a guy that's not a political animal, and he was in the private sector and very successful. He can drain the swamp.
Okay, no.
He's not accountable.
People who are very successful do not file bankruptcy that many times.
Yes, they do.
No, that's the opposite of success. That you go into court and you say, "I am not successful. Here's my bankruptcy papers."
The average guy starting a business will fail about 5 times at least before he gets successful.
Well, you didn't say average. You said successful.
Okay. Let's go back to the facial recognition. They already took a lot of tools, and the Democrats, what I used to be, you took a lot of tools away, and we have all kinds of bums and crime and everything going along, derelicts in our cities. But they put aside some of the best tools that the police had. That's the loitering laws, vagrancy laws, that they kept these folks moving and moving on. They didn't sit in a city for months, years in tents in our parks.
Well, if it's public grounds, right? If they're on a public sidewalk or in a public park, don't they have equal right to be there as anybody else at any given time?
Not as a living point, not as a living place. It's a transitional place. And that's what they did. They could say, hey, if you, after they see you in your many times, you're welcome into the city, you're passing through, you're going to get a job. But they keep seeing you hanging around. They go up and they can say, hey, you got a $5 bill? Well, no, I haven't got a $5 bill, which is equal to $30 back then. Well, then you're a vagrant. We're going to put you in jail maybe at 3:30 in the afternoon when the courts are closed. You spend all night in jail, let you out. They get tired of that. They get tired of moving from city to city, except maybe the gypsies. And they go get a life.
Maybe.
And we had the option of putting them in jail and working them, which they took that tool away, too.
Yeah, they took away the tool of slavery. Yeah, so wouldn't it be easier to take if the problem?
They were violating
the law.
So
slavery, enslavement of criminals
should not be a crime.
So wouldn't the easier solution to be to not have public spaces in the first place, and then the owner of the property could be like, yeah, no, sorry, you can't live here. For free.
You can sure, owner of property ought to be able to say you can't live here, but they can't even do that. We just had a guy in Seattle that owned a big building, had to sell it because they did $100,000 worth of damage for breaking in and living there. He said, I couldn't even get the cops to come and move them off my property on the outside of the building.
So what is more cops going to do?
They set fires, and the vagrancy laws gives you another tool to do that. And if you vote the right people in, all of these facial recognition and these loitering laws and everything else will be an asset. You vote a dictator in, then it will not be an asset. It's simple as that.
Well, you're living in a fantasy land if you think you can vote the right people into the system.
You can. Well, what do you want to do? Just shoot the right people in?
No, I don't.
You don't usually shoot people into office. You usually shoot people out of office.
I don't think there are any right people for power, sir. I think that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. What do you have to say to that?
I told you before, it has to be tempered with Christianity.
Whoa.
That's what our framers said.
I didn't hear that before.
You don't believe
what document was that?
You can pull it out of Jiminy Cricket's
Gary, what?
thought,
I'm sorry,
feeling.
which politicians haven't claimed to be Christians for the most part at the national level? Yeah, I mean, you got a handful of Muslims here and there. You get a handful of, whoever else, and most of them claim to be Christian, right?
You know them by their deeds.
Okay, so how many of them are real Christians?
Well, even a non-Christian could be good. You know if a guy is if he's doing good things or not, if he's corrupt, he doesn't have to be a Christian.
Which politician is not corrupt? Let's just talk national level. Which politician is not corrupt?
Oh, there's quite a few of them. You haven't got that long show.
Give me one.
No, we got like 2.5 more hours.
Okay, Trump. I don't think he's corrupt.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Hey, look at the economy. economy. You don't like the economy? What don't you like about it?
I don't like the fact that the government exists and it forces people to do things they don't want to do and forces them not to do the things they do want to do and taxes everything that moves and tells everybody how to live their lives, and Trump hasn't changed any of that.
Of course, he's reduced taxes. He's let us keep our guns. He's brought
the debt keeps going up, dude. I don't know if you've noticed. I don't know if you've noticed.
He's reduced my gas so I can go places.
I don't care about your gas, dude.
Trump has rolled back some regulations on business.
Look at the debt, man. Look at the debt. It keeps going up.
He's going to address that on his next term.
Oh, you just got to wait until the next term. Right. Yeah. He just increased the size of the military by adding an entire new force to it.
Yes.
You get off on that, huh? You like big militaries going around the world crushing peaceful
China
people?
and Russia for a papa. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'm not worried about China and Russia. They're not the ones who are threatening me. It's the U.S. federal government that's the threat. They're the ones who are hurting people around me.
That's what I mean. You guys don't come from. You come from a government school. That's what I see. It has to be privatized. Did you guys go to government schools?
I did not.
I did not.
I sadly did go to a government school, so 2 out of 3 did not.
They're teaching Marxism in there big time and in the colleges.
Do I sound like a Marxist to you?
Go in there.
Do I sound like a Marxist to you?
Well, you have some Marxist ideas, not
really.
Totally.
Which one?
Well, you don't like big government even if it's good.
I went to Catholic school for 17 years, so that's Christian, right?
Did you just say Marxists don't like big government?
Marxists like big government.
Right. So what is it that I believe that's Marxist?
Well, let's see. You believe that I don't know all your beliefs.
Okay. Well, yeah, you don't know. Thank you for the call, Gary. I appreciate it. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up whatever you want. Even if you just want to fillet the state here on the air with us, you can do that.
If he's worried about China, he shouldn't want the facial recognition, right? Because that's what they have there. And it goes beyond facial recognition into the social credit program, into putting you on a billboard.
You don't understand. You just have to put the right people in charge, and then it's totally fine. See, in China, it's bad communists that are in charge. Facial recognition, bad when the communists are in charge. But put Trump in charge of the facial recognition, and then
because who's in charge never ever changes when you have elections every 4 years.
Well, you just got to keep putting the right people in charge. Maybe have them abolish elections while you're at it,
and you got to give them a whole second term.
Keep them there.
Couldn't get it done in the first one.
Right. Oh yeah, he's gonna drain the swamp. He's still trying to pull the drain plug. It took him 4 years to really kind of get his hands around the drain plug, and now he's going to give it a good pull. If you just elect him, he's going to do it for real this time, right? You believe that. 855-450-FREE like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
Join me, George Norrie, in Indian Wells, California, May 29th to June 1st for the Contact in the Desert UFO Conference, an epic weekend of exploration into UFOs, ancient civilizations, crop circles, and so much more. Over 150 lectures, panels, workshops, and events with leading experts: Paul Hellyer, Linda Moulton Howe, Nick Pope, Emery Smith, Stephen Greer, Russell Targ, Doc Wallach, Leslie Kane, and more. Get your tickets at contactinthedesert.com. It's time to make contact. Contactinthedesert.com.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results vary. Exclusions apply.
Contacts and glasses are such a hassle. I'd love to finally get LASIK, but
I'm going to stop you right there. If you want LASIK, then the LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
Isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting DO88 to 350350.
But I'm really busy.
A text only takes seconds, and the LASIK procedure typically only takes 15 minutes. And best of all, most patients can get back to work the following day.
I had no idea.
The LASIK Vision Institute uses the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision. We've performed over 1.3 million procedures. That's experience you can trust. And we're offering 20% off our already low-cost services.
What's that text again?
Text DO88 to 350350. That's DO88 to 350350 to schedule your free consultation today.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. The live Sunday edition. Here with you tonight, it's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Melanie.
I want to say thanks to Piper, who is a Free Talk Live Silver amplifier. Piper contributes $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com, which I definitely appreciate. It is a small but wonderful group of people that helps us get Free Talk Live on more radio stations. That's what AMP stands for. Again, advertise, market, and promote. Help us promote Free Talk Live to new radio stations. We're on over 200 stations now, and a lot of it's thanks to amplifiers like Piper. You can join the AMP program over at amp.freetalklive.com. It's all of $5 a month. So if you can afford the price of a hamburger or a fancy cup of coffee or whatever that you can send our direction, we will turn that into more radio stations and get the ideas of freedom out there more often and in more places. And so thanks, Piper, and all the other folks who amp the show at amp.freetalklive.com. You can get some cool perks as a result of doing that, like access to the AMP chat rooms on the Discord server. There's also an AMP-only Facebook group and more. It's ampamp.freetalklive.com. PayPal, credit card, Bitcoin, BTC, amp.freetalklive.com. We go back to the phones, to your calls and thoughts. We've been discussing facial recognition software is going into place in London, and look out because it's likely coming somewhere near you as well, especially if you're in major cities. You're going to likely see it there first. But Mark, you're on Free Talk Live listening to WTMA.
Hey, guys. I love y'all's show.
Thank you. Go ahead with your thoughts.
I was going to say, I don't agree with facial recognition because I think it's the 14th Amendment, but I'm not sure. Illegal search.
Fourth.
I think it was
fourth. What was it?
Fourth Amendment, which is the right to...
The fourth. Okay, the fourth. I was
possessions and such.
Off. But I was going to say, too, I remember it's probably a year and a half back or so, they said that thing had real trouble with recognizing African Americans.
Yes,
and
it did.
That would really set them up for, legal problems, or anybody at that matter,
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Mark, because the next paragraph in the story here at TheVerge.com about the cameras in London point out that the use of facial recognition by law enforcement previously has been limited to small trials and public events like a concert or football game. But those deployments have been widely criticized, with data from one trial indicating that 81% of so-called matches suggested by the recognition system were incorrect. So it's screwing up 8 out of 10 times.
Yeah, and then those people got to get a lawyer if they get hit with anything, you know.
Sure.
I mean, or even you're just walking down the street. So say you look vaguely like a terrorist or something, a specific one, and so just every time you walk out your house, you just get stopped by the cops.
Right, but you only get stopped by the cops, right? You don't get arrested.
How do you
don't
know
need a
that?
lawyer. Because they approach you, they find you on camera, they approach you, you give them your papers, you identify who you are, you play nice.
Until they say,
you
"Oh,
don't try to run away."
He put his hand in his pocket when we told him to put his hand in his pocket for his ID, and we decided it was a gun, and so we shot him.
That rarely happens. That'll be an anomaly.
It does happen. Or they run your papers, as you're suggesting, and it turns out you're not the person they were looking for. But they were looking for you anyway because they had a warrant for your arrest for some other nonviolent, peaceful offense that they're after you for.
Exactly. And nowadays it's almost like you're guilty till proven innocent.
It is like that these days.
That's all I had to say.
Mark, good call. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Glad to finally hear from somebody that's actually critical of these cameras. And you're playing devil's advocate here, Richie. It's not actually what you believe about these things. They're creepy.
They are. And the African-American thing, there are other articles out there that corroborate that and say, yes, they are misidentifying African-Americans in higher numbers. And the reason given for that is because a lot of the tech people in the field happen to be white males, right? So they build all this software and facial recognition, and the models that they have to
white
use
people.
Are, people from around the office, right? Because you got to get a test base. And so it doesn't have a public test, which is the reason why they're giving for misidentifying African Americans at such a high clip.
Well, regardless, 81% of matches in the tests are, incorrect. I mean, that's a tremendous number. Even if it was 1 out of 10, I still wouldn't support this. Yeah. But I mean, this is terribly invasive and frustrating for a lot of people. I mean, many people believe that they are law-abiding citizens, right? You hear people say this all the time. Well, I don't have to worry about that because I'm a law-abiding citizen.
You're probably not a law-abiding citizen, and if you are, I do not want to see the cleanliness level of your house.
I see where you're coming from there. Most people are violating government laws, whether they know it or not. That's one major concern. But even for those people that think that they're law-abiding, they believe they're not breaking any laws, you can still get caught up in a police investigation because of these cameras.
Because you look like somebody else.
Right, but that you otherwise wouldn't have gotten caught up in. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. And tell me that you're going to, if you think you love the police now, wait till they draw down a gun on you because they think you're so-and-so who, just robbed the convenience store down the street last week or whatever.
That sort of happened to me, actually.
Really?
When I was in college. Like I was on my way back to class and I was stopped by the police.
On campus?
Not on campus, off campus. Like
okay.
I had an apartment off campus, and I stopped, right? Because I'm a law-abiding citizen, right? Like 18-year-olds in college, didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah,
was in my house all day on my way to class. Was stopped because I looked like the guy who just robbed the bank in a Safeway. Now my girlfriend at the time happened to work in a Safeway, so when I got home from class and she got home from work, she was like, you're not going to believe what happened at work today. I went, what? Someone tried to rob the bank? She's like, yes. How do you know? Because they stopped me on my way back to class to question me about it. Luckily, I wasn't arrested, just got detained for 10, 15 minutes. Was late for class, so I had a little note from the cop.
Oh, they gave you a note.
I asked for it. I'm like, dude, I'm on my way to an exam, and I'm going to be late. So if I want to get into this exam, you got to give me something.
I'm surprised about that. That's unusual.
So, it's unusual in today's society. This was like 1999, so maybe. And
did you like the cops back then? Were you friendly about it?
Friendly about it in that sense, right?
Meaning you felt like you were just helping the cop out, like you're doing your civic duty, or were you critical at all of?
I was not
happened?
critical at the time.
Yeah,
I did not have my conversion to liberty or anarchy until well after that. So, but also when you get stopped by a cop, what are you going to do, right? Like I'm walking back to class. I know I didn't do anything wrong. I was a little upset that I was being stopped at all for whatever reason. But
that's what I'm saying. People who are loving the police right now, thinking that these camera systems are so great and helpful, what are they going to feel like when they get stopped? When this camera system misidentifies them and they're misidentified as a violent criminal, and the cops, it's going to be a little different if they actually pull their guns on you and hold you at gunpoint because they think that you're somebody you're not.
And that could have very well have been me back then, right? Because it was a bank robbery, right? I mean,
they didn't, though, in that case.
They didn't in that case.
Let's go to Mark. He's on the line calling us from the Mariana Islands, the U.S. Marianas, calling from Saipan. Go ahead, Mark.
From Mariana Islands, Melanie and Richie Rich. Not so much you, Marxist.
Go ahead.
So the gentleman who called in from, I think it was Washington, and his concern about homelessness, I share it. I think that there's some problems with Supreme Court rulings recently that sort of say that, any hobo or bum can stand in the middle of the median and hold whatever sign they want to hold and, raise more money than they would get from a full-time job.
Hey, the median is still public land, man. If you're gonna have public lands.
I'm not claiming it's not. What I'm claiming is that libertarians have a problem with our public land discussion. Most times on the air on Free Talk Live, we say things like, well, this is a solution for this problem, or this is a solution for that problem. When it comes to homelessness, what we do is say, see what public land does? What you need to do is have this deteriorate into complete chaos, and you'll finally see what we want. And nobody wants that, right? Like, nobody wants a,
Well, you don't have to deteriorate into chaos. You just don't hold public land anymore.
Yeah, I don't see how turning all the lands private is a chaotic endeavor.
Well, I think that there are easy steps for turning lands private, and I will agree with you on that. However, it doesn't seem like there's much of an appetite for that today.
That is true.
And I think this is a difficult question for libertarians because our answers require us to show people through, object lessons, see what happens when the hobos get to do whatever they want. This is the probable, almost certain future of what's going to happen if we let the hobos run free. And
Hold that thought, Mark. We can bring it back here in just a moment. Mark Edge is on the line in Saipan, where it's already tomorrow. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Hour number 2 is on the way. You want to talk public property? We can do that, too. Your thoughts welcome. It's Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Do you wish you could do whatever you wanted in your dating and relationship life, even if you're married? Do you wish you made more money on less hours? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live listen line, 641-793-0191.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,572, silver at $18.08, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,461. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, as China continues to take extraordinary measures to contain the deadly coronavirus outbreak, wet markets, outdoor food markets selling both live and dead animals, have been labeled ground zero by authorities in regard to the viral epidemic. The market facing the most scrutiny allegedly sells the meat of over 100 animals, including exotic snakes, live rats, wolf puppies, live peacocks, porcupines, and even koalas, according to images circulating online. The Mind Unleashed reports that on Wednesday, state authorities banned the trade of live animals at wet markets. The popular Huan Seafood Market in the central city of Wuhan, where the virus is believed to have begun, was previously closed January 1st. Dr. Gao Fu, the director of the Chinese agency charged with controlling and preventing diseases, confirmed that the virus likely came from wild animals at the seafood market, but did not go into specifics. The first to suffer from the virus were reportedly the employees at the Wuhan market. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell, daughter of the late suspected double spy Robert Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein's accused madam, has reportedly been hacked. According to the Daily Telegraph, Maxwell maintained a secret email server and failed to secure it. Maxwell claims that her email server was hacked after a court unsealed approximately 2,000 pages of documents last August, according to the Daily Mail. The Mind Unleashed reports the extent of the breach is unknown. If emails were obtained in the hack, they could showcase embarrassing information on Epstein's clients, alleged victims, and co-conspirators in his massive sex trafficking operation. In a newly released court document from the case of Virginia Griffey versus Ghislaine Maxwell, the socialite's attorneys argue for a cache of communications in the case to remain sealed. Her attorneys have said that there were serious mistakes, including insufficient redactions, in the August document release. New York State forces citizens to pay for stargazing permit to view night sky in public parks. That's according to Activist Post. Light pollution across the state of New York makes it hard for folks in highly populated areas to view the night sky. So those who wish to gaze upon the stars at night have to drive many miles away to remote areas. Many of the remote areas are located in taxpayer-funded state parks. In their efforts to squeeze every dime they can from the tax farm, bureaucrats in New York have devised a scheme to extort citizens who wish to use public parks to gaze upon the night sky. The extortion comes in the form of a $35 stargazing permit. If you are from out of state and wish to gaze upon the night sky from one of the locations, the fee jumps to $60. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Like many young inner-city students, Chicago area high school sophomore Brandy Perkins struggles every day to motivate her teachers. The frustrated 16-year-old talked to Onion reporters this morning to discuss the challenges she faces in reaching out to her underperforming educators.
Connecting with the teachers gets harder and harder every year. We all come in every morning eager to learn, but most of the teachers just seem completely uninterested in education. One of my teachers, Miss Manley, has been particularly hard to work with. She was quiet at first, but she showed some potential. I thought maybe she just needed a little time to come out of her shell, but as the weeks went by, she just sat there listlessly at her desk, never talking or participating. It just makes you feel so helpless.
For more on this story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything that you want. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Are you ready to embrace facial recognition technology, cameras on every street corner, eyeballing you, identifying you, maybe misidentifying you?
Having your face on a big screen for jaywalking like they do in China.
Calling, do they really do that?
Yeah.
They have like jumbotrons for violators of
They broadcast
jaywalking?
it right there.
Wow. I had not heard that. So you can bring up whatever you want. We're talking about what's happening in London, where they are going towards facial recognition. They're implementing this apparently immediately, if not, it's already being done or was done to some extent. And what is that going to mean for you? I mean, you're probably not listening in London. Are you, unconcerned? Because I think you should be concerned. These governments, they borrow ideas from one another. They watch. They see how another implementation of some sort of Orwellian, creepy police state technology goes, and then they try to do it where they are.
And if they got the cameras in place, right, then it's just a matter of software on the back end doing the facial recognition.
That's right.
So it's even easier to implement. And they might even be doing it without you knowing at this point, because you don't see more tech. You don't see more tech going up where the cameras are, right?
Sure.
You
so
see
how
the
would
same
you know?
cameras you always have, but all of a sudden on the back end they're doing this.
In this case, they are announcing that they're doing it, and so that gives us the excuse to talk about it. We'll talk to you if you want to join the show. You can. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. But we go back first to the Mariana Islands, where Mark Edge is on the line with us. And Mark, you were calling about the homeless problems that we touched on with a previous caller tonight, and you were saying that libertarians' solution is leaving a little bit to be desired.
Yeah, and I can't say that I have a better solution for explaining the homelessness problem, but it leaves people a little hollow when you say, well, this is the problem with public property. We need to eliminate public property. And the only way y'all are going to figure it out is if we have public property and it descends into a cesspool of feces. And
you're saying that that's what libertarians are saying?
You're saying that people would not be able to figure out that public property is a bad idea until it becomes the tragedy of the commons?
Correct.
Well, it's never going to not be the tragedy of the commons, though, because that's kind of inherent.
Well, yeah, but it's different, though, Melanie. If you go to downtown Keene, New Hampshire, there's a few bums here and there. It's not the end of the world. But whereas like in Seattle or Portland, they literally apparently have tents on the streets.
San Francisco.
They're sleeping all over the place. So it's a much bigger problem in some places. So what you're saying is, Mark, that libertarians feel like there has to be some sort of S-hole conditions before they can actually persuade people on this? Because I don't know if I feel that way.
I just don't think that the whole public lands are a problem conversation that we have is optimized for the audience. I think that we need to come up with something that's that explains it a little better, because this is it. What's going on in Seattle? What's going on in Portland? What's going on in San Francisco? These things are the probable, almost certain future of when you say the land belongs to everybody and everybody can use it.
So why shouldn't libertarians use this as a real world example to illustrate our previously theoretical points?
Should. I just don't know. I'm just hoping for some more better explanation.
Okay, you're hoping for a better explanation. Do you have one?
Twice.
Huh?
You might be cutting in and
out.
out.
Yeah, we're losing a little bit of data here. I think it might be your voice activation that's causing the problem. But what did you say?
Oh, I do not have a better explanation.
Okay, so you're putting it out there into the universe. You're saying you want somebody to come up with a better pitch where you don't have to wait for some tragedy of the commons situation to become writ large and unavoidable.
I do, however, have a solution to facial recognition software. When I was in Hong Kong, the activists in Hong Kong, well, just about everybody in Hong Kong wore a face mask.
Ban them.
They have,
is it legal to do that?
Absolutely legal, because Asians like face masks.
Good point. Good point. Right, and now we're going to see that being more popular in the United States. What with the whole coronavirus thing? Apparently, my roommate says there's cases in Albany now, 2 hours away from here. He's already got his masks from Home Depot.
He said New York and up and down the West Coast. He said California, Oregon, Washington has already seen.
Oh, hey, those are good places to stay away from anyway.
Since we've got you on the line, Mark, I did see a headline out of Saipan Tribune, I think it was, that Saipan is already seeing a lot of hotel cancellations because obviously it's right there in the Asia, Asian Pacific. Are you seeing that? Are people talking about it? Are people putting on face masks more often than normal there? What are you seeing?
I'm seeing more face masks than normal, but I have not heard about the hotel cancellations. I say good because, I don't want anybody coming here from Asia right about now.
Okay.
Bringing the coronavirus with them.
So, but are you taking any precautions? Have you purchased any face masks?
I have a face mask that I got in Hong Kong. I got one of the fabric ones. It was $1, and I recommend this for everybody for all kinds of circumstances.
Do those do anything, or do you have to have like the fancy filter kind of thing that only lasts for a couple hours on there?
In my opinion, I think the single best thing that the face masks do is two things. They prevent you from, spreading germs when you cough, because it's like covering your mouth all the time.
Right.
And B, it reminds you never to touch your face, your mouth. You shouldn't, you need to wash your hands if you're going to poke around in your mouth or your eyes or whatever. So the mask prevents you from touching your own mouth with your dirty little fingers.
I think that's a good point. All right, so now let's talk about the homeless people, since that's what you called in about. Are there a lot of homeless people in Saipan, in the Marianas?
I hear there's one.
You hear there's none?
One. I think there's a bum. There's
one bum.
He's probably well known then.
And he asks for money, and he's probably got some mental health issues, and he's trying to treat it with alcohol, and we all know how that goes. But no, there is no homeless problem here on Saipan.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think to Mark's general point about libertarian solutions, right? There's a lot of solutions that libertarians propose that aren't really palatable with the general audience at the moment, right? So saying his point to the public lands, that extends beyond just public use of lands, right? Like I was thinking of, I hear it hissing.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Okay. I was thinking, to like the immigration debate, right? There's closed border libertarians all of a sudden that say like, well, you can't let them in because they're a drain on the welfare state, right? And
those people are not libertarians.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Right. But if you open the border, then they come in and they destroy everything. And whereas the solution is open the borders, but also end the welfare state. Right. But the general public doesn't want to hear end the welfare state at all, because the general public is on some sort of welfare, even if they don't acknowledge it directly. Right. Like there's
or they believe that it's helping people. They believe that welfare is, and there are some people who are likely helped by those programs, but they presume that they wouldn't be helped in the absence of the programs, and that's just not true.
Right. But without disrupting the program, though, there's no way for libertarians to show a real life case of those people being helped absent the welfare state, because the welfare state continues to exist.
I also feel like it's not my job, but like it's not my job to make statism or parts of statism palatable. It's my job to convince people of anarchy. So if people don't like what the state is coming up with, I mean, that's kind of a plus. I don't get, like, okay, if people don't like the anarchist solutions, then they're not going to like the anarchist solutions, and I can't make them like them.
But then you never move forward with like the anarchist society then, because you can't get those people on board.
That's why migrations are important. If you can get enough people to migrate to the same place, like here in New Hampshire, then maybe you can actually have a chance at advancing the ideas of liberty. Hey, Mark, thanks for calling in tonight. Appreciate it. I hope you have a nice day there, because it's already coming up on the afternoon tomorrow, where he's calling from. And you can join us and sound pretty great, just like he did there on our Discord server over at discord.lrn.fm. Hop on in over there, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can join us on the radio. This is Free Talk Live. I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh! My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live and the Live Sunday edition, where you are invited to take control of the airwaves. Here our number, 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Tonight with you, it's Ian,
Richie Rich,
and Melanie.
And head on over to bitcoin.com. They can give you the basics about cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash over at Bitcoin.com. They've also got a great news site. Plus, in the summer of 2019, they launched local.bitcoin.com, which allows you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash with dozens of payment methods globally, and they respect your privacy, meaning there's no identification requirements to sign up for and to use the site over at local.bitcoin.com. As we continue, we'll go to Brad, who is listening in Ontario and via the TuneIn app. Brad, you are on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Wow. Okay. Just a big fan of Ian and Nobody.
Okay. What were you calling about tonight?
I wanted your thoughts on Ontario, Canada, where there's lots of striking by public sector unions.
I don't know much about it. So what are they striking over?
Well, they say it's about not wanting the Conservative government to cut back on their spending. Meanwhile, we run deficits over and over and over and arguing. So, I'm trying to understand if I'm really, truly a libertarianism, because I think they're wasting money arguing. And if I get you guys right, they're wasting money arguing about whether or not to spend money or not spend money.
I would say let them fight and then fire them all and then don't replace them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the libertarian perspective on government unions is that the state shouldn't exist at all. And so, I mean, I don't feel bad for...
Thank you for that.
Yeah, there's nobody to negotiate with if your employer doesn't exist, so you have to go get a real job.
Well, I've gotten a lot of backlash from friends and family members because I said, well, if you don't like your job, quit. Yeah. And I got backlash on that. Mm-hmm. And
because then they're oppressed by nature.
On that.
I mean, I get backlash and death threats on a semi-regular basis, so it kind of comes with the gig. Yeah, if you're an anarchist in most places, people aren't going to like you. What?
Yeah, okay. No, you guys are great. I've been a long-time fan of you guys. I just wanted to call in. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thanks,
no
Brad.
Big deal.
Our pleasure. Appreciate hearing from you, man. Thank you. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. But what you're pointing out here, Melanie, is it's not easy to advocate for the end of the state.
It's easy. I do it. It just has some negative consequences if you care what the general population thinks about you.
Right. Well, I mean, some people, it's not just the general population. It's their own family members who will be upset at them. And that's tough for some people to handle. I mean, you and I, we don't have this problem, because we don't really care that much about what our family thinks. But I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's my impression of you.
I don't care. I think that you might be focusing in on one or two specific people, but I don't care what people think in general.
Right.
I mean, yeah, most of my family is not anarchists.
You don't live your life to appease your family, though.
No.
And neither do I. But there are a lot of people who do, and they don't want to upset their mom or their dad or whatever. And the fact is, the libertarian, or you use the term anarchist, the voluntarist perspective is one that is very upsetting, especially if those family members work for the state and they believe that they're doing a good thing, or that, their job is necessary, or that people want them to do their jobs, or whatever excuse.
Yeah, I mean, I had one family member who just straight up literally refused to acknowledge the fact that I was an anarchist, and told me, "No, you're not." But it's like, denial. Okay, well, people are gonna think what they're gonna think, and they're gonna say. I mean, hopefully they'll be honest. What
did they label you?
They just didn't. Just not. Okay. Yeah, just not.
You're anything else, just not an anarchist.
Okay.
So hopefully they're gonna be honest enough to tell you what they think. But if you hold a minority viewpoint, I mean, that's kind of just people aren't gonna just. You're trying to destroy. I mean, I'm trying to destroy an entity that a lot of these people really, really want to hang on to. So I don't expect that to be met with they're
not going to love you for it. No. That's for sure.
When it comes to the family, I was listening to the School Suts Project.
Yeah, great show.
Right, great show. And one of the things they said on one of the most recent episodes was a lot of people within the liberty community focus a great deal of attention on 7 people in their lives, right? Their immediate family gets all this energy, all this attention, trying to convert them to the ideas of liberty, and most family doesn't work.
Oh yeah, right? And I don't try to convert people who don't more or less come to me, and I don't have conversations with people that they don't want to have, unless it's something like, yeah, you need to call me back for this bill or something. But right. I don't have philosophical conversations unless the person I'm having it with wants to have a philosophical conversation.
Right, but you're also more able to change hearts and minds outside of the familial relationship.
So true, yeah.
Yeah, somebody who didn't have to teach you how to walk and wipe up baby food off your face is going to be more inclined to listen to what you have to say.
True. So if you're going to exert all that energy, focus it outwards toward the general public and other people in your lives that may be more convertible than family members.
Absolutely. Now, again, I'll reiterate the idea that if you are the lone libertarian where you live, you're the one person who's, out there publicly speaking out against the state or the police state or whatever, government taxes and whatever the issues happen to be in your area, you look like a crazy person. Yes. You have to have more people on your side. You have to have a community, and I don't just mean a handful. I mean dozens and dozens of liberty-minded folks in any given area who are involved in a variety of different aspects of life, whether it be going to church or, the knitting club or playing video games online, whatever it is that people do. There have to be libertarians in all of those things. So no matter where it is that there are these people, these average folks who support the status quo or the state or whatever the way things are, when they're at the gym or when they're at their job or when they're at their hobby or wherever it is, they're going to run into a libertarian who's going to have an opinion about why government sucks and why, the state is evil or whatever. And if they can't get away from it, then it will become something that they're going to start to take more seriously. Whereas if it's just their family member who's the only one that they ever encounter who ever says anything about, ending the state, then of course they're going to discount you, as you pointed out, Melanie, for certain reasons that they know you better than anyone else. They know all your failures, and they know that you're not perfect. But hearing it from friends, hearing it from coworkers, hearing it from associates, it's going to be something they're going to have to take seriously.
Well, that's why even the movers here, they say get involved in the activities that you would have already been involved in, and then be that libertarian voice amongst that group.
Right. You're talking about movers of the migration of people moving to New Hampshire who are liberty-minded. That's what the three of us are. That's the reason we're all here sitting in the same room together. It's the reason we know each other is because of this migration where, we don't have enough people yet. We still need more. But we've got more here in New Hampshire than anywhere else on the planet as far as concentration is concerned. And you know what? The statists take us seriously. They know we're here. They don't like it one bit. Unlike in most places where libertarians are just a sideshow. They're meaningless. They're laughable.
They should, though. The statists should like us here because the motto of the state is live free or die. That's part of it.
Statists don't like libertarians as a general rule. There's more coming up here in moments. You can share your thoughts with us and bring up whatever's on your mind here on the live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. It's the live Sunday edition as well. Take control of the airwaves at 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat currencies like the dollar in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org. That's divvyproject.org. We go back to your phone calls and thoughts. You can bring up what you want. Now, we were talking about facial recognition. There's a little bit more to say about it. Plus, in other news, Richie, you're going to be telling us about traffic jams and how to get rid of them. Oh, sorry about that. Let's try that mic button.
They are solved, apparently, according to the mathematicians.
We will find out more about that on the way, and of course, you can bring up anything you want. Plus, we'll find out what happened with Glenn Greenwald, charged. I said arrested earlier, and I thought they'd arrested him, but apparently he wasn't there. They've charged him with cyber crimes in Brazil. What's
They'd
all
like
that
to
about?
arrest him.
Exactly. Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts first. Dana is in Maine, watching us on YouTube. Go ahead, Dana.
Yeah, good show tonight, guys.
Thanks.
It's kind of sickening hearing all these lock 'em up, pro-cop Republicrats calling your show tonight. But
yeah.
I guess we don't have enough people in jail for these folks.
Well, they always want to build more jails because that makes things better.
Well, if you put more cops on the street corners, you'd have less crime, and then you wouldn't have to build any more jails. It'd be a deterrent.
Exactly. Hey, I did want to mention, though, I hear quite a few people calling your show who are defending this Trump, this bankster puppet.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't prove it, but I strongly believe that if the exact same charges and evidence, allegations, etc., the exact same people came forth and accused Trump, that are accusing Trump right now, if these charges were brought against a Democrat, then these same Republicans would be apologizing. Were brought against a Democrat, the sides would flip anyway. The Republicans
of course they would.
The same stupidity the Democrats are, and vice versa. They're sickening. I can't believe anybody could support these people in any way.
You just have to turn your brain off. I mean, because there's no thinking here. It's just bad team bad, other team bad, my team good. Well, and that's what it is.
It also brings up an interesting phenomenon with this whole impeachment scenario. And I've said this before, it turns the impeachment process into a weaponized political tool.
Sure.
Right? Because if the Democrats get elected into office and somehow the Republicans take the House and maintain the Senate, right, then they're just going to find some impeachable offense, because all politicians at the presidential level have some impeachable offense, right? And it's just going to be used as that tool to get them impeached.
You think they're going to go back and forth with impeachments from now on?
Why not?
Well, they didn't do it for whatever reason on Bush and Obama.
That's true, but that's what makes this one interesting.
Yeah,
Trump. They've been trying to impeach Trump since he got elected, right? It was get him out of office from the day he was sworn in. They didn't wait to see what he did. They didn't wait to see what his policies were. They didn't wait to see the bills that he signed, right? It was just, we need to get him out. And so for 2.5, 3 years, they were looking very hard for something like that he would do to make it impeachable. And as soon as they got that, we went, got him, and they started the process.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that that's the way they operate, that's likely, hopefully, right, what's going to happen going forward, is that every presidential...
So you support this circus continuing?
Well, as much as I support a government at all, right, which is nil, but as long as they're going to exist, right, why not bottleneck it and have them fight and get nothing done? Right? Why not stalemate it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if we could spend money, if my choices are spending money on an impeachment circus for any president versus spending money on passing bills and regulations, I mean, let's just have the entertainment. It's not entertaining to me, but apparently it's entertaining to CNN's
right, because every
viewers.
minute they're sitting there doing this impeachment thing is a minute that they can't be passing new laws, right?
Or doing anything else harmful.
Yeah, that's a good point. Dana, other thoughts? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention too that we get a lot of this Republican radio up here, and I think it's poisoned a lot of people's minds. We don't have any Democrat shows at all up here where I live in Maine. We've got one channel essentially, one radio station up here, WVOM. Have you guys ever tried to, by the way, get through to them?
Yep, I've talked to the program director there in the past.
Post-it notes.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where they know we exist, and most stations, when you call them, they're not looking for a show, right? They've got 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so they're usually not urgently needing something. But they know we exist, and if you want to help us get on, you can always give them a call and tell them you want to hear Free Talk Live.
It's 24/7 Republican cheerleading.
But that's
what
true
goes
for
on up
most
here.
talk radio. They did try something called Air America like a decade ago, actually probably a little more than a decade ago now, where they tried to launch a liberal talk network, and it just didn't work out. It was just a major failure. They had whatever venture capital they burned through, and then it was over. There have been several shows that have existed since then that have had differing degrees of success. Most of them have failed. There's still 2 or 3 left that are just kind of still kicking out there. They've got a handful of stations and nothing more than that. There's barely any progressive talk left on
Why do you suppose that
radio
is?
dial. That's an excellent question, and I can't answer that question for you.
Liberals don't listen to the radio? Or
Well,
they don't have the...
you could say that maybe the liberals are more listening to NPR. They're just so used to listening to NPR that it would really take something else to get their attention. And maybe they're, and again, I'm speculating here, right?
That's all I asked for.
Maybe they're not looking for the same kind of confrontational talk radio that you tend to get in the conservative talk zone. You know what I mean? Maybe that doesn't do it for them. Maybe they want that sort of easy listening sound that they get off of NPR, which I personally don't care for.
I mean, conservative talk radio only gets confrontational because the liberals will call in to fight their point, right? Otherwise, it's still just...
Oh, they don't let any liberals call in up here. And by the way, don't you think that talk radio is, or the Republicans' party is more pro-corporate? And so the news media being media corporations, why wouldn't they favor Republicans more so? Not that the Democrats aren't pro-corporate too, but I think
but you see, the old Republican talking point is the lefties control the media, even though at the same time the righties control the radio, or at least talk radio. I mean,
they control the television media.
But they're never clear about that.
I don't even think so. I don't even think that's true either. I don't. I don't hear any good arguments. As a matter of fact, I've heard numerous people talk about these goings-on down in Richmond, Virginia. I've never heard one of them mention that that they always talk about the Democrats are trying to steal our guns, and they are. The Democrats stink. Don't get me wrong, but nobody ever points a finger at these Republicans for these drug laws, which have exacerbated, I would argue, the violence which the Democrats stupidly try to solve by passing gun laws. But the Republicans in their war on drugs, and the Democrats, by the way, are war on drug people too, but they favor more probation type things and maybe counseling and stuff. The Republicans want to throw people in jail, and they
Right, we had one of them calling in earlier, getting all jazzed up about the cameras on the streets because he's going to catch more criminals and throw more people in jail. We need more cops, et cetera, et cetera.
Cameras in the bushes in case people get taken out there.
Dana, you're right on, man. Thanks for the call. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us tonight. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Hank in Utah, listening to KCPX in Moab. Go ahead, Hank.
Hello. You were talking about the homeless situation earlier?
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, I have to say that the term bum is considered pretty offensive.
Yeah, it is.
What about hobo?
Wino.
Well, I don't know. I mean, tramp maybe was a little better.
Tramp.
But I would say that this whole situation just represents a failure of the commons. Just people that are not being taken care of by the system.
Well, let's talk about that. Stand by, Hank. We're going to bring you back. I want to hear more about what you have to say there. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up whatever you want, and maybe you are homeless and you want to weigh in. Get your Obama phone out, dial it. It's Free Talk Live.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
A fully leveled up video game character marvels at how far he's come, and the milk rushing through a jug handle is having the time of its life. This is The Onion Week in Review. This week, top executives from the U.S. financial sector announced they're about ready to ruin the world again. Representatives from all major banking and investment institutions said that more than enough time has passed since they last caused a major global economic meltdown, and confirmed they're pretty much fully prepared to bring about a brand new worldwide financial crisis.
We feel like we've given people enough time to get comfortable again. Consumer spending has increased, housing market has rebounded. So yeah, we're all set to go ahead and ruin the global economy again.
And in other news, the perfect gift for a local man is unfortunately a gift certificate to Lowe's Cinemas. Mall shoppers look on in awe as a helpless 15-year-old girl is viciously torn apart by a pack of her peers. And a drunk pilot decides to pull over onto a cloud until he sobers up. You will now hear 3 gong strikes and a recitation of the great chant before being ushered to the hallowed garden. For more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you may join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. Here tonight, it's Ian,
Richie Rich,
and Melanie.
We want you to join us online and on the radio. You can go to freetalklive.com. You can get signed up for our email list there. You go to the freetalklive.com site. You'll see its email sign-up boxes right there on the front page. You just pop your email in there, and then we'll email you usually on a once-a-week basis to keep you in the loop with what's happening with Free Talk Live. So feel free to get signed up for that at freetalklive.com. Plus, we got a bunch of archives, and of course, there's our webcam feeds and so much more. It's a very big site over at freetalklive.com. And unlike a lot of those talk show hosts out there, ours is free, so enjoy it. We go back to your calls and thoughts. Hank is on the line with us in Utah, listening to KCPX. You wanted to talk about homelessness in the United States. Go ahead, Hank. I want to make sure you had a chance to get your thoughts out.
Well, yeah, I was just saying that it represents a failure of the collective. this kind of is the flaw, or one flaw of the market system. Not everybody is involved in the market.
Well, you go get involved in the markets, and then you can afford to pay your bills.
But who's going to force that?
Nobody needs to enforce it. That's the beauty of the market system.
The market, it's in a sense, self-enforcing.
Well, hold on. I think there's a confusion here. We don't have a free market. I just want to be clear on that. What we do have is a system where there's a massive...
I know, but I thought you were advocating a free market.
I do,
absolutely.
Yeah. I absolutely advocate a free market. The system that we have, as you pointed out, is failing homeless people because you've got a one-size-fits-all government solution that if an individual doesn't like the government solution, let's say I don't like the way government, homeless shelters are run, and I would rather contribute to a private homeless shelter. I can contribute to a private shelter, but I'm still forced to give money to the government shelters that are doing things the way I don't think that they should do, and they're not helping homeless people. They're encouraging it, and they're giving misincentives or malincentives for these peoples to continue their bad behavior.
I think any of the shelters are kind of encouraging homelessness.
Well, then you're free to not give to any of them.
Existing.
I think there's a good one here in town that's privately run, and I think they do a good job at helping people find work and kind of turn their lives around. But they do it all on a private basis, so if you don't want to fund them, that's fine. You don't have to.
And a lot of homeless people don't like the rules of the shelters that are in their area.
Well, and the private shelter has more rules, like you have to leave in the morning. You can't just stay there. You don't get one room that's all yours, and you can come back to it anytime you want to. It's only open during the 100 coldest nights of the year. And you're in for the night, and you're out in the morning.
Yeah.
And you can go to the warming center and drop in and, fill out a job application online or something, use their computer or whatever. You can print up a resume. There's things you can do. They still offer services. You can consult with somebody and kind of, try to get your life back on track.
And that, again, is just for the people who want to, right?
Correct.
There's plenty of people who just are out on the street and don't even want to make an attempt to do anything more or better.
So, Hank, the problem is when you have a one-size-fits-all solution that's doing a crappy job, as most government solutions, government programs do, they waste a ton of money and they're quite ineffective at what they do, but yet we're still all forced to pay for it. Do you support that?
Support paying for government programs that I don't agree with?
Right.
Well, no, of course. I mean,
okay.
But the thing is about government, I just think that there has to be, especially with the population that we have, there has to be some kind of larger organizing force.
Mm. Well, does it have to have force behind it, though?
It doesn't have to be.
Hans, what was that you said there?
With the population that we have to have some kind of organizing force to keep things from descending into complete chaos.
Isn't that a problem with large population centers in general? That it's easy.
We do have too many people. I would say that's.
Well, I'm not saying
we have too many people, or we have too many people in one carved out country, because those are two very different statements.
Well, you got 7.6 billion people on the planet.
Are you suggesting that people should be eliminated?
No, I'm not suggesting that.
Well, when you say there should be an organizing force, what is it that you think?
Meaning government.
Yeah.
Meaning a government, not necessarily the government that we have.
Well, what do you think it should look like?
But, it's been suggested that, and I mean, it's just a known principle that no system can be better than those who implement it. So if you have low-quality people or people who seek power for its own sake in these positions, then obviously you're going to have problems.
How would you ever avoid that problem where you have positions of power?
I mean, I guess it's possible. I don't say that it's going to happen tomorrow.
I'm going to tell you it's not possible. Because,
you just eliminate the position.
Well, right, because as long as power exists...
people are inherently corrupt?
No, I think that...
And will inherently abuse their power?
I think that power attracts those who are already corrupt, and it corrupts those who aren't yet corrupt.
I do agree with that, for sure.
And there's science to back it up, by the way. Yeah. It's not like total speculation or just observation.
No, I agree. Yeah. It's probably almost obvious.
Yeah. I just think when you say this large population area, like let's just say the United States for the sake of a large number, 300 million people, right? I don't think think with that many people you need like an overarching government to keep 300 million people in line. I think the larger the number, the easier it is for smaller groups to get along with each other. Maybe insofar as just on the individual level, where people interact on an individual basis, and communities could develop and come together and govern themselves, but not call that a government. Right? Like the typical example for libertarians, like the homeowners association. Right? You could have those develop with rules in specific areas, and I think that's easier to govern a smaller amount of people than it would be to try to like impose those rules on 300 million.
Yeah, I guess so. But how's that going to happen?
Naturally, I would say.
Hopefully, naturally.
Yeah, but of course, we're nowhere near this because people have to come to some sort of an epiphany. They have to have, whatever renaissance that they need to go through, where they'll realize, oh, yeah, if we do keep this same thing going that we've been doing for our whole lives,
it's going
to be the same crappy. Oh, yeah, we should stop thinking we're going to change everything by electing some new great man or woman to the president or state, these U.S. reps or Senate. This whole system, it's just a mess. Let's start by decentralizing the power. Let's start by getting the federal government gone. How about secession? Have states secede. Then we'll see if we can devolve power from there further. Or we can have some sort of crazy renaissance where everybody just starts ignoring the government and then they'll just go away. Wouldn't that be nice?
I think that might happen, but I would suggest that that the more people that you have, the more pressure there is, the more difficult it is for people to evolve because they just don't have the space.
Well, I mean, we got plenty of space. I'd like to point out that most of the United States is not. Most of the United States is not urban. It's not suburban. It is rural. There's a lot of space. If people want to live on top of one another in a big old city, that's certainly their choice. They don't have to do that.
And amazingly, a lot of them choose to do that.
They do,
That's their preference, is the big old city life.
Because there's amenities there and there's professional opportunities.
Whatever their reason.
Whatever their reason. Hey, Hank, thanks for the call tonight, man. I do appreciate hearing from you and the thoughts. I mean, I don't share Hank's view that population is out of control or whatever. I think there's plenty of space and plenty of room out there. If we actually had the freedom to go and spread out and use that space, then I think that would be really cool. But we don't. Because a lot of it's run by the federal government. A lot of that space is locked down. You cannot go to those places. You cannot just homestead a piece of property in most of the West. It's like, what, 2/3 of the West is federal property?
I don't even like historical districts.
Me neither. Because it's just a bunch of busybodies telling you what you can and can't do with
We like the way this looked 200 years ago.
Right. So let's go to David. He's in New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yeah, the DA here needs to resign. Raul Torres, Bernalillo County DA.
Yeah,
also,
I agree.
His wife. Yeah, there you go. His wife, and this is because his wife, Nasha Torres, is the dean of students of the University of New Mexico, and everybody knows what the DA does. They
conflict of interest.
They prosecute crimes. The DA does in the county. And in that same county is the University of New Mexico Albuquerque campus, main campus, and his wife is the dean of students there, who's in charge of student discipline. Well, actually, not just student, but discipline for anything that goes on campus, whether a person's a student or not. And all criminal cases go through her office for on-campus discipline, whether that means kicking them off the basketball team like J.J. Caldwell, or kicking them off campus so they can't come and take classes.
Right.
Or,
and so she's funneling cases to her husband, who's working as the DA.
Go figure.
There. Hey, thank you, David, for the call. We got more coming up here. Hour number 3's next. 8:55, 450 free, like freedom.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Are you able to set your own schedule, work, play, or sleep whenever you want, 7 days a week? Are you free to date whomever you want, even if you're already married? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,572, silver at $18.08, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,461. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, as China continues to take extraordinary measures to contain the deadly coronavirus outbreak, wet markets, outdoor food markets selling both live and dead animals, have been labeled ground zero by authorities in regard to the viral epidemic. The market facing the most scrutiny allegedly sells the meat of over 100 animals, including exotic snakes, live rats, wolf puppies, live peacocks, porcupines, and even koalas, according to images circulating online. The Mind Unleashed reports that on Wednesday, state authorities banned the trade of live animals at wet markets. The popular Huan Seafood Market in the central city of Wuhan, where the virus is believed to have begun, was previously closed January 1st. Dr. Gao Fu, the director of the Chinese agency charged with controlling and preventing diseases, confirmed that the virus likely came from wild animals at the seafood market, but did not go into specifics. The first to suffer from the virus were reportedly the employees at the Wuhan market. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell, daughter of the late suspected double spy Robert Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein's accused madam, has reportedly been hacked. According to the Daily Telegraph, Maxwell maintained a secret email server and failed to secure it. Maxwell claims that her email server was hacked after a court unsealed approximately 2,000 pages of documents last August, according to the Daily Mail. The Mind Unleashed reports the extent of the breach is unknown. If emails were obtained in the hack, they could showcase embarrassing information on Epstein's clients, alleged victims, and co-conspirators in his massive sex trafficking operation. In a newly released court document from the case of Virginia Griffey versus Ghislaine Maxwell, the socialite's attorneys argue for a cache of communications in the case to remain sealed. Her attorneys have said that there were serious mistakes, including insufficient redactions, in the August document release. New York State forces citizens to pay for stargazing permit to view night sky in public parks. That's according to Activist Post. Light pollution across the state of New York makes it hard for folks in highly populated areas to view the night sky. So those who wish to gaze upon the stars at night have to drive many miles away to remote areas. Many of the remote areas are located in taxpayer-funded state parks. In their efforts to squeeze every dime they can from the tax farm, bureaucrats in New York have devised a scheme to extort citizens who wish to use public parks to gaze upon the night sky. The extortion comes in the form of a $35 stargazing permit. If you are from out of state and wish to gaze upon the night sky from one of the locations, the fee jumps to $60. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's the Onion Radio News. God loses his decision-making coin. This is Doyle Redland reporting. The Lord God has confirmed that he has misplaced his special decision-making coin. The coin, a relatively unremarkable 1972 nickel, has been used almost daily by the Supreme Being for over 4 billion years for the purpose of determining everything from the direction of the wind to the outcome of history. The visibly distraught God added,
I have no idea where I put it. I remember flipping it last night for a couple in Monroe, Michigan who were trying to conceive a child, but I haven't seen it since.
God also said he hopes to locate the coin before 7:15 Thursday morning when United Flight 251 takes off from Seattle with actress Dixie Carter on board. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, and we're launching into the third hour of this live Sunday edition of the program. Our toll-free number for you is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms as well. They're open for you. If you want to sound like you're sitting here in the studio with us, join us over at discord.lrn.fm. They're right now talking about the Kobe Bryant helicopter crash.
Tragedy.
9 people dead. In fact, apparently everybody on board this helicopter perished in what was described as large explosion that happened on a foggy day out in California today. And as one guy, I think it's Horn Solo, in our chat room points out, he says, Neil Peart dies and 4 or 5 people on my social media mention it. This Kobe guy dies and everyone posts about it. Sports ball guy, right?
Yep.
And
don't pretend like you don't know who he is.
Yes, he was. If I'd heard the name, I would have been able to tell you basketball, but that's about as far as I would have been able to get. I wouldn't have been able to tell you what team he was on or anything like that. Don't know much about him. But, sports ball people, people pay a lot of attention to him, and so there's going to be a lot of attention paid to this particular death. Of course, Neil Peart didn't die in a helicopter crash. He died of whatever natural causes, so there's certainly a lot more drama around this one.
And age, right?
Yeah, Neil Peart was old.
Yeah.
Right. And this guy was, in his 40s or something like that? Early 40s?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah. So if you want to join us here, you can bring up whatever you want. We've been talking about the cameras and facial recognition software going into place in London. That was where we started the show. We've been all over the place since then. You're welcome to bring up whatever's on your mind. With you tonight, by the way, it's Ian.
Richie Rich.
And Melanie.
And there was just a little bit more before we get into traffic solutions, which doesn't sound like that of an interesting topic, but you said it's
You've never been stuck in traffic.
Well, it must be interesting because it's the number one objection to anarchy is roads.
Who will build the roads?
It must be really, really interesting.
You
to
may
some
not like
people.
some of these solutions then.
Well, I want to hear what they are. The mathematicians say they've got traffic problems solved.
They nailed it.
And we're going to find out what that means coming up here in moments. But they're discussing these systems they're putting into place. According to various sources, we shared the Verge.com, London the police there deploying facial recognition cameras across the city. And we pointed out that there's already apparently one trial that showed 81% of the so-called matches suggested by the facial recognition system were incorrect. However, the Metropolitan Police say the technology is tried and tested and says the algorithms they use from biometric firm NEC identify 70% of wanted suspects and only generate false alerts for 1 out of every 1,000 cases.
Okay.
So 1 out of 1,000 is a way different number than 81% failure rate.
There was I think it might have come out of California, but they were doing some facial recognition on a suspect, and apparently, the description of the suspect or whatever, and they're trying to find the database and trying to describe him. They go like, well, it kind of looks like Woody Harrelson. Mm-hmm. So they did like a match of like Woody Harrelson versus the database and found the suspect by using not even the real information, just what he looked like.
So just by what somebody said.
By somebody said. Yeah.
Not the machine or the code or the software.
Well, but the software, the facial recognition software, like matched Woody Harrelson's face with someone in the database. And that's how they found the suspect.
But it needed a human to interact and make it get it right. And look, I don't doubt that the facial recognition is going to get better. I mean, it seems inevitable that the technology is going to become more accurate. It's going to become more,
That's not
cheaper.
inevitable once you insert government into it as its main or only user, because they have an incentive to make it not as accurate, or to at least not continue to make it more accurate.
And the incentive is because then
you get all those false positives.
And that's good for them because it just gives them an excuse to harass somebody, you mean?
Harass, arrest, collect the jail fee, whatever, yeah.
Privacy advocates describe the deployment of the technology as an attack on civil liberties. The use of facial recognition around the world has been criticized by many tech experts and privacy advocates who note such systems are often racially biased and are misused by the police.
Well, duh.
Even some big tech companies like Google are backing a moratorium on the technology. Silke Carlo, director of Big Brother Watch, told the Daily Mail, quote, "This decision represents an enormous expansion of the surveillance state and a serious threat to civil liberties in the UK. It's a breathtaking assault on our rights, and we will challenge it, including by urgently considering the next steps in our ongoing legal claim against the Metropolitan Police and the Home Secretary. This move instantly stains the new government's human rights record, and we urge an immediate reconsideration."
That's a surprise coming from Google, who collects every piece of data that they can.
That was not Google. That was Big Brother Watch.
Oh, no. I thought you just said Google was calling for a moratorium.
I did say that. Google is apparently backing a moratorium on the technology, but the next quote was from someone from Big Brother Watch, the director of Big Brother Watch.
But Google's calling for a moratorium
on facial recognition technology.
Right, but it's not, this system isn't Google's subsystem, right?
That's probably why, right?
Yeah, so then they have time to
fix it,
get their own up to speed. Yeah, no.
And I think. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'm just saying it's surprising that the one organization that collects every piece of data that can possibly exist in your life, like all of a sudden doesn't want your face to be recognized.
Do they have your face? Yeah, I guess they do have your face, probably Google, because they had Google Plus for a while. Plus, people upload their photos to their mail profiles and things like that.
If you do that, yeah.
I don't know. I've never done either of those, actually.
I see it sometimes where I'll be mailing somebody for the first time. I don't know who they are, right? Like, or they send me mail, and I can see their little picture associated with it. So
well, yeah, I'll see that when I email people, but I've never felt the need to upload a photo to my email account.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't see what purpose it serves.
You can join us here. You can bring up whatever you want, and I just, regarding this facial recognition, it seems so inevitable that this is going to continue coming down on various different places. It's going to start in the UK, it's going to go from there, and it's going to be implemented in a variety of cities all over the place. I wish I had a better feeling about it, but it's going to be hard to oppose it. You're just going to have to put in whatever personal countermeasures that you feel that you need to, whether it's wearing one of these masks or wearing the shirt that's got all the faces on it.
Blackout sunglasses.
Will that work?
Black bar. I don't know. It's just it's a novelty item. Yeah. But it's like, when they black out someone's eyes in pictures, it's just the square black rectangle. Right. They sell sunglasses that do that. So anytime someone takes a picture of you, your face is already kind of blacked out as a novelty item?
Yeah, I mean, you would think it would need to have access to most of your facial features in order to be able to identify you, but they may still get partial matches if all they've got is your, the bottom of your nose and your mouth.
Well, and you said earlier, right, the gait they're taking.
The caller earlier said the gait. Yeah, they're looking at how people move and matching that, and that's one of the hardest things to change because you can't really do that unless you think constantly about it.
Right.
How to change how you walk.
You kind of just walk how you walk on an everyday basis.
Yeah, and I don't even know, if you're thinking about it, maybe you can change it up enough, but could you really think about it that constantly to where you can? I'm sure somebody could if they really put their mind to it, but that's a hard one to
or just
fix.
have, develop, two different walks. Like, this is my public walk, and this is my, secret walk.
Right.
Start to swagger in public.
Or limp.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so you can bring up whatever you want, but traffic is something that's on a lot of people's minds, especially folks that are commuting for work every day for an hour or a half hour.
You may be stuck in traffic right now.
Maybe so, and you're hating it.
So mathematicians have solved traffic jams, and they're begging cities to listen.
Okay.
Most traffic jams are unnecessary, and this deeply irks mathematicians who specialize in traffic flow. Have you ever looked at one of these traffic pattern?
Like a map or something?
Not a map, an animation that shows what causes the traffic to back up.
Where do you see these?
You could probably just Google it. I mean, you just pull up traffic pattern animation or something. They're very interesting to see what causes it and then how it starts to break up.
Is it Google that provides the data or something like that?
No,
where do they get it from?
I don't know.
Huh.
I've seen them and they're interesting. It's fascinating how they start. They reserve particular vitriol for local transport engineers. They do not have competencies in the field of system-related increases in traffic performance, says Alexander Krylatov, a mathematics professor at St. Petersburg University. If engineers manage to achieve local improvements, after a while, the flow rearranges and the same traffic jam patterns appear in other places. Burn. Krylatov would like to solve urban traffic jams forever, so much that he has co-authored a book of new math approaches to traffic ways and ways to implement them. And the 4 takeaways, I guess
we'll share those on the way here. 855 450 free. So what do the traffic geeks know about the traffic patterns and solving them that the government bureaucrats just won't listen to? All right, that's what we're going to talk about here.
How to solve them.
Your calls and thoughts are also welcome. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. You want to talk about road rage or whatever you want to do, you can here. 855 450 free like freedom. Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynavite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Yep, it's Free Talk Live. Bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Gene, the Christian anarchist in our chat room, says traffic jams are caused by idiots who can't drive. Lots of people have opinions about this, but so do the mathematicians, and that's what we're going to get into here. 4 takeaways from what some of these math geeks say can solve traffic problems. You've got that story, Richie. We're going to continue with it coming up here. It's Ian, Richie, and Melanie in the studio, and of course you're welcome to join the show. You can dial in toll-free at 855-450-FREE. And here's an update from LibertyCon, which is coming up in April 3rd through the 5th. It's going to be a unique Liberty convention happening in Washington, D.C. We've told you about some of the speakers they're going to have, like John Mackey, the Whole Foods CEO, speaking on conscious capitalism, but they're also going to have a couple of debates, including Is Government Necessary?, which will feature David Friedman, who will be taking the side that government is not necessary, and somebody named Timothy Sandifer, who will be arguing that it is necessary. Another debate they're going to have is, does capitalism require government intervention? Economics editor for Barron's, Gene Epstein, will be saying that no, we don't need to have intervention, and Stephen Pearlstein will argue in favor of it. You can learn more over at libertycon.com. Mark your calendar for April 3rd through the 5th, and go ahead and get your tickets now. Save $10 on your registration by using code FTL, like Free Talk Live. That's code FTL at libertycon.com. Go over there and get signed up. We will look forward to seeing you there because Free Talk Live will be broadcasting from the event. I've never been before. I'm looking forward to checking it out. Libertycon.com, code FTL, April 3rd through the 5th in D.C. We'll look forward to seeing you there. And D.C. is one of those places that is just notorious for terrible traffic. So I am not looking forward to the aspect of traveling in D.C. In fact, we may even take a train down just to avoid, all the traffic snarls.
We were in D.C. over Christmas.
How was it?
It was vacant because
really? Everyone's gone.
Yeah, right. So there's almost no traffic issues. I think we got stuck in a little bit of a backup. Heading back, we went to like a mall in Virginia, and then hit some traffic on the way to the mall and back in and out of Virginia. But in D.C. city area, like we walked mostly everywhere, but there was not many cars on the road.
Sweet, you lucked out.
We did.
All right, but have you been there before when it's normal?
The previous time I've been in D.C. was an 8th grade class field trip.
Okay, so you wouldn't have been paying much attention.
Would not have been paying attention.
Right. All right, so you got a story from, where was it, by the way, this?
Fast Company.
Fast Company. All right, very good.
The 4 takeaways from the book of New Math Approaches to Traffic and Ways to Implement Them. So this is where
a real page turner. I'm glad they boiled it down to 4 points.
Right. It might be fascinating, if you're the mathematician. So takeaway number 1: all drivers need to be on the same navigation system.
Oh, really?
Cars can only be efficiently rerouted if instructions come from one center hub.
Oh, central control.
One navigation system rerouting some drivers does not solve traffic jams.
What do you think about that one?
Well, that's why I kind of brought it up, because I thought these would be interesting, especially with Melanie here and the anarchist libertarian perspective. How do you do it, right? I don't like it, but if the mathematicians say like this is the way to do it, then you have to choose, right? Even Uber, when they were talking about the self-driving cars within cities, were already petitioning that you have to have one self-driving car company allowed in the city, and that's it. Because Lyft and Uber are not going to talk to each other, and if you have more than one, then there could be a conflict.
Well, then I guess they need to start talking to each other. That's not everybody else's problem.
Well,
I don't see why they wouldn't be able to talk to one another. I mean, even different computer manufacturers have standards, right? Like there's the USB standard. It's not like you go and you get a Toshiba laptop and it's got a completely different connector on it than the Samsung or whatever.
But if you buy an iPhone, you have Lightning, and then that's it.
True.
But then, but then you could still get those generic. I bought a phone charger a couple weeks ago for like $4. No.
For iPhone, you mean?
Yeah.
You're saying you can get a generic version of the Lightning charger?
Yes.
Yeah, that much is true.
But
it's
not,
a different
it's not standard
connector.
across phones.
But phones aren't trying to drive into each other at 70 miles an hour at 5 tons. So it's kind of less of an issue.
So how do you get Lyft and Uber and Arcade City or whatever other self-driving car, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. It's the only third example I could think of. How do you get those navigation systems to communicate with each other voluntarily?
Well, so it's already illegal to run your car into someone or into another car.
Right, so they would have an incentive to do things to avoid that.
Because it's like saying, well, I just refuse to open my eyes when I drive because I think there should only be one eyeball in the road. And if we're just going to all refuse to look out the window, and then, well, yeah, you're going to run into each other. Don't do that.
Okay. So about the one hub navigation system, you just want all the navigation companies to work with each other, whatever nav company is in your car, to make the traffic jams less efficient. They're all going to have to talk to each other. They're all going to have to cooperate.
I'm not saying anything's going to have to do anything.
I don't know how rerouting people.
I see what he's saying here.
There seems to be a big chunk of information missing from that.
Well, we obviously don't have the whole book here, but I think I understand what the math guy here is saying. He's saying that if people have different systems for rerouting, right? Like, so if you come up against a traffic issue.
Like if you have Waze will reroute you the fastest route based on what they have for data.
And it'll change during your drive. If you are coming up on, you're going one direction to go home that you normally go, but it turns out that an accident happens, 5 minutes ago as you were on your way home. If there's a way to get off that road before you get to the accident, Waze, which is Google purchased Waze, WAZE, by the way, for people that don't know. It's going to take you off that route and go a different route if that other route is faster. If it's still faster to get through the traffic jam, it'll still take you through the traffic jam. So it makes a decision sort of on the fly. And so what this guy is saying is, if you've got different traffic control or navigation systems telling people to go the same direction because they think that's the best way off, well, then maybe the other way will then become jammed because you've got different traffic or systems that are not aware of what the other ones are doing, and so it could cause
another app doesn't
jams.
Know that Waze is rerouting 75.
So then it sounds like their alleged solution is that it picks and chooses who's going to get the fastest routes.
It's just saying that if it were one system, that one system would have full knowledge of all of the cars and where they are and be able to make better decisions. And I can see the argument there.
Right.
But if Waze has one car going in that direction, and they know that car now slows down and it's for whatever reason doing 25 and a 55, it knows that.
That's right. Waze knows that.
So it can use that information. It doesn't have to have every car with Waze in it for it to know that.
Well, but if another navigation system also has a car there going 25 and a 50, and Waze reroutes you because it doesn't see the other nav system and a slow car,
right,
you will back up in traffic there. And
it's not as efficient. That's true.
It is.
Having
is everybody driving around with GPS on their way to and from work anyway? Like that.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. But if you
it does matter, because if you're not listening to if you don't have a navigational system turned on.
Well, he's talking about a world where everybody would. Where
how
every
to solve
car,
traffic jams.
Right, where every car would be connected to some sort of central oracle that would know where everything is. So, I mean, look.
What if I just don't want to listen to my GPS?
He's talking about a world where that probably wouldn't even be an option anyway, right? He's saying everybody would be keyed into this system.
Ideally,
yeah.
Right? All drivers, same navigation system. One navigation system rerouting some drivers doesn't solve it.
Yeah,
It has to be one
and
system.
he's not necessarily wrong about that. So let's talk further about this here. 855-450 free. And there are some benefits to centralization. Just in the same way there are benefits to decentralization, they are two different ways to solve problems, and some of them are more effective on some problems than others. 855-450 free, like freedom, Free Talk Live.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
How many lawyers does it take to change a light bulb? None. They'd rather keep their clients in the dark. There are too many lawyer jokes to count. However, there are some lawyers with more noble intentions. At the Institute for Justice, we bring the light to our clients. We are a non-profit public interest law firm with clear values and principles. At IJ, we fight for those whose most basic rights are denied by the government. Visit our website today at ij.org.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You bring up what you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. So we're talking about the mathematicians who have, one of them's come out with a book on how to fix traffic problems. And the first solution that he's suggesting here, and we're going to go through 4 of them, is centralization of navigation systems, meaning that there should only be one, he says, one system to have all cars on that one system, and that will make things more efficient.
The Highlander of navigation.
We'll talk about that on the way here. And if you want to join us, our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Also, don't forget about Fork Fest coming up this summer. You can join a bunch of liberty-minded folks in the woods of northern New Hampshire at Rogers Campground. It's a beautiful location full of cool people that you're going to want to hang out with. Liberty-minded folks, anarchists, voluntarists, libertarians, however they describe themselves, they're going to be there. And you get to decide what to do. It is decentralized. So unlike centralized navigation systems, the Fork Fest event is a decentralized event. There's nobody who's in charge of Fork Fest. There's no board of directors to make bad choices. There's no organizers. There's no tickets as a result.
Traffic is going to be terrible then.
It's pretty light. There's not that many people there. Forkfest.party, or maybe it'll blow up this year. We don't know. We have no idea. There's no ticket sales, so we have no real way of measuring what's going to happen. It's just all going to be whoever shows up and whatever they create. Because you can you can just hang out and relax and go camping with other people that care about freedom, or you can create a thing for people to do there. Maybe you want to cook for people, or maybe you want to put on a musical event, or perhaps throw a poker game or something like that. You can kind of do what you want, and people will join you in it, likely, if it's fun.
Food and entertainment seems to be important.
Indeed. June 29th until July 5th. That's when you want to mark your calendar for. You can already get your reservations over at Rogers Campground campsite, RV site, or motel room. June 29th through July 5th. Go to forkfest.party to learn more about the event. There's a Forkfest chat room on the Telegram platform there. There's also a forum over at forkfest.party. So let's talk more about this idea of centralizing traffic control. Of course, we already know, just as a general rule, that centralization, a one-size-fits-all solution, one provider of any given service, usually means you're going to have a crappy system. You're going to have a system that's run poorly. It's expensive, right? If you have a monopoly, whether it's run by the state or run by some corporation, if there's no competition out there, then they don't have an incentive to be excellent. So while the mathematician here may be correct theoretically, if there was this oracle, this computer that did have all of the data from all of the cars on the road, it would be able to do a better job routing people around and do the most efficient job at that. But the odds that system could ever be created or fed with the data that would be necessary to feed it.
Government mandated.
That would be the only way to do it, would be to have the government mandate this one-size-fits-all system, which then would be run by some crappy corporation.
And that's going to cause accidents, because if my car can tell me where I have to go and I have to listen to it, I can't avoid places that I know my car can't handle. I can't avoid places where I don't feel comfortable driving because the turn's too sharp or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you can tell me you have to drive down this road at this time, people are going to die.
I think he's talking about a world where you're not even driving. It could be. It's the car itself that then would be going.
But that still doesn't affect my tire quality. It still doesn't affect my car height.
But even in your case, though, right, you would be one of the people not avoiding the traffic jam then, right? Like the system would reroute you the most efficient way to get you to your end destination as quickly and efficiently as possible, and you avoiding that would be choosing to take a less efficient.
That's fine, because maybe it wants to reroute me in the winter in an unpaved road.
Right.
And, well, that's the other thing. GPSs fail sometimes, too. So if you legally mandate that you take the GPS routes, that's a problem. If you don't legally mandate it, people can be like, well, I know where the GPS reroutes people to. I've figured that out. I'm going to do this other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can empathize with this guy. I see where he's coming from. I can't agree with where he's coming from, not only on a principled basis, simply because I don't believe that one size can fit all, and I don't think that you can have the most efficient solution, because it's ultimately human beings who will program the thing. And who's to say that this centralized corporation has the best algorithms? Who's to say that they have the best systems for figuring these things out, especially without competition?
So, okay, so I'm going to step back from the takeaways for a moment, just because one of his complaints is that he's got all these solutions and cities aren't listening to him.
No one listens to him.
Right. So he's advocating for a one-size-fits-all navigation system, and cities going like, nah, but probably not the best idea. All right, so odd dichotomy there as well.
Also, from their perspective, it's hard to implement compliance on a system like that, too.
Okay.
I mean, it would be incredibly difficult to try to crack down on people and say, you must be using Waze.
You used the wrong GPS, you're under arrest.
But what does government want? They want more power, they want more control, and he's saying the best way to alleviate a problem in your city is to take more control, and they're going, well, maybe not, right? It's weird.
It's surprising, yeah.
It is surprising. Okay, so takeaway number 2, parking bans. Many urban roads are too narrow and cannot be physically widened. Traffic flow models can indicate where parking spots should be turned into lanes.
Okay. So, yeah. So
then I could just drive around in a big circle in the city, but I can't ever actually go anywhere because I can't park my car.
Right. Well, in certain narrow city streets.
Yeah. Look, so arguably, again, in a system where, in the future, there's going to likely be less need to own a car, right? So we're already moving towards that in certain cities where they have systems where you can rent a car for a moment. Basically, you can, I forget what they're called. Is it Zipcar is one of the companies? There's certain.
Well, yeah, and then you're kind of betting your whole life on this company not only continuing to exist, but continuing to meet your needs in a way
you're not betting your whole life.
You pretty much are, because then if you don't,
you can always go buy a car. I mean, you can always you're just not having a car. And,
there's plenty of people that already take the bus.
Yeah, this allows So there's obviously bus and mass transportation options, but for the individual, there's this idea of, well, of course, Ubers and Lyfts. They're all over the place. You can just grab one of those and get to where you need to go. In a city like New York City, there's really no reason to have a car in a lot of cases. It just gets in the way. It makes it difficult. The parking sucks already.
It's expensive to park it any place decent.
It's highly expensive.
That's a whole lot of autonomy I am not willing to give up.
Yeah, well, that's why you don't live in a city. One of the reasons why, right?
I mean, I kind of do live in a city, but I have a parking spot.
You live in Manchester, New Hampshire, with 100,000?
I have no idea. It looks
biggest
like a
city in New Hampshire, man.
It is. It is the big city in New Hampshire.
I mean, it's not a metropolis.
Does Manchester have underground parking?
I don't know.
No.
I've never looked for it.
That's because there's plenty of. I mean, even though parking's not all over the place, there's still enough on the ground level or whatever, or through parking garages. In New York City, like in Manhattan, where Mark and I go every year for the Talkers Conference, there's underground parking all over the place, and it's like $50 a day.
Yeah.
In order to park your car. And that's like a decent price. There's some of them more expensive.
That's about what some of the ones in New Orleans were going for.
Really?
Yeah.
My wife was just in New York, and even when we went to visit at the end of 2018, I think it was 2018, right? You park your car at the hotel parking lot, which in our case at that time was like down the street. It wasn't even like attached to the hotel. And then you couldn't get your car out, right? It was like they park it, they stack them all in there.
Yeah, you got to wait.
And then you got to wait. So it's not even worth trying to go in and out to get around the city. You just park it, you travel, by the subways, or you walk, and then when you're ready to leave the city, you go back and get your car. Yeah.
That's how we do it. That's when we're there.
Yeah. There's no autonomy there.
Well, yeah, so if you're just visiting somewhere, it's probably not as urgent, like, oh, I have to be at X place at 8 a.m. every day.
Right. But if you're living in New York, it's probably more difficult to take your car from point A to point B.
If you're living in New York and you got to be somewhere by a certain time of the day, you don't want to be driving there. You want to get on the
Did I gotta
train.
be all paranoid and anxious and trust another human being every day?
Yeah,
no.
you don't belong in New York City.
No, I don't. I do not belong in New York City.
And neither do I. I can't stand being there. I mean, I only have to be being there temporarily. Fine. One night, okay, no big deal. It's kind of, oh, we're in the city. Look at all the things. There's good Chinese food.
Touristy stuff.
And then we leave. There's more coming up here. 855-450 free. 855-450-3733. 2 more points on this. Coming up here in moments. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
If you owe money to the IRS, you need to hear this. The IRS is cracking down on those who owe back taxes. It starts with a devastating letter, and if you don't act immediately, you could find yourself having your wages garnished or have a lien placed on your property. But there's a solution. Tax 10,000 can help. Avoid enforced compliance, where these holds on your income and seizure of your home could become a nightmare that just won't end. Call 800-239-9957 now and speak to one of our experts. 800-239-9957 is the number to link you directly to a tax resolution specialist who will negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, all the forms will be handled for you. All you have to do is make the toll-free call. 800-239-9957. Find out if you qualify and possibly save yourself thousands of dollars, not to mention a lot of headaches. It could be the best call you've made today. That number again, 800-239-9957. The service does not provide tax settlement or legal services. We will refer you to a company that does provide such services. Often the IRS will not agree to any reduction in the amount owed. Not all taxpayers who owe more than $10,000 will qualify for a tax reduction program.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
If you're looking for work, you know what I mean by elevator speech. It's the short version, saying just enough to make the listener want to listen more. Even if you're not a job seeker, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. So to cut through the clutter, choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Instead of saying, due to the fact that, say, because. And avoid mispronunciations. Say jewelry, not jewelry, which could offend. Undoubtedly, you don't want to say undoubtedly. And whatever you do, never use a preposition to end a sentence with. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Moments remain here. Enough time for you if you join us now. The number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Richie Rich, you are the host of The Anarchist Experience.
Yes, sir. Anarchistexperience.com.
And what is it?
It's just a podcast me and my buddy started 6 years ago now. We're on year 6.
Congratulations.
So we just wrapped up 5 years, did week 1 of year 6 yesterday. mostly talking about the whole Peter Schiff losing his Bitcoin
I heard about
debacle
that.
and what you can do
To avoid that?
and protect your own wealth outside of the Federal Reserve System.
Sounds like a useful episode. Head over to anarchistexperience.com. You can download there, subscribe to the podcasts.
Yep. It's on
and
iTunes,
it's free.
SoundCloud.
So enjoy it. So, Richie, before we go back to the phones here, let's continue with the traffic expert, a mathematics guy who says he knows how to solve these problems. Point number 2 here,
parking bans,
was that he thought it would be useful to use data to say, hey, look, New York City or whatever other congested place we're talking about, you really would be better off taking those on-street parking spaces and adding another lane.
Turning them into
lanes. More traffic flow through the lanes, and then let more parking garages be built or underground parking.
That's an implication. He's
whatever.
not saying that in the article, but that's definitely an implication.
That's where the cars would have to go.
Right.
And honestly, I think that's a good solution. That makes a lot of sense to me because it would improve the traffic flow because these cities, you can't make the streets much wider. There's big old buildings there, so you can't really do that. But you could take away the parking from the side of the road. And honestly, it's not going to inconvenience that many people because there aren't that many spaces on the side of the street, right? Like, there's only so many cars that can be on the side of the street as compared to when you stack them vertically or when you stack them underground,
There's only so many spaces, and someone's always there first.
Almost always.
I don't know when those spaces ever open up.
Right. And then you get the UPS truck that stops in the next lane to unload their stuff.
Oh, you're going to love D.C. They stop right in the middle of the road to unload.
They do it all the time in New York.
There you go.
All right. So next number 3 here on the points.
Green lanes. For cities that want to increase electric car use, special lanes should be created for electric cars.
Okay, this is not a way to alleviate traffic.
Yeah, that's not good.
All right. Is that it? Because that's all it says. That's an incentive for electric car use.
Well, yeah, but it's not. If
that
this
has
is a
nothing to do with
list
traffic.
to alleviate traffic. This is not a way
That's
to
like an
alleviate
environmentalist wish list there. And
Fair enough. Number 4 is a little weird. Digital twins. Traffic demands and available infrastructure.
Wait. I'm sorry to interrupt, but on the whole green lane thing, what about getting rid of the HOV lanes?
That would probably alleviate traffic.
I think that would help, yeah, because
most people aren't going to work with 2 or 3 people.
Right, because that was the idea behind the HOV lanes is that, we'll just make this special lane for all the people that are, it'll give you an incentive to put somebody else in your car and do good for the environment, and now you can go faster. But
you just use them when you happen to have another person in the car anyway.
Well, now you're destroying jobs.
Almost always there's nobody in that lane.
There's big cities where panhandlers, hobos, bums, and homeless people will put their thumb out for the HOV lane. You give them a few bucks, they ride down the freeway one way. So you can take the HOV lane for like $10 or whatever, and then they thumb their way back the other way and give someone else a chance in the HOV lane.
There you go.
So they're enterprising.
That's smart.
Homeless people out there.
All right, sorry, go on.
But not what the intended purpose was.
I'm sure it's not, but hey, you want jobs or not? You want them to work or not? Okay, so this one's a little weird. Digital twins. Traffic demands and available infrastructure can only be balanced with digital modeling that creates an entire twin of existing roadways. The software will be an extremely useful thought tool in the hands of transport engineers. So it's not this one doesn't necessarily alleviate traffic on the road, but for the traffic engineers, the city engineers, having a full model of the traffic patterns and of traffic modeled out for them is useful to help them make their decision, I guess.
So he's saying they don't have a digital representation of traffic systems?
That's what it sounds like. It's definitely the weirdest of the 3 or the 4. I mean,
okay.
I don't know. Okay.
Since it's the government, I believe that, but I shouldn't be surprised that that's the case. I would expect them to have something like that.
Yeah,
but.
I got to say the best solution of all the 4 of them is getting rid of the parking on the side of the street.
Traffic modeling is a complex branch of applied mathematics, partially because it assumes that drivers are selfish and pursuing their own goals,
smart
Melanie, rather than any predictable or shared efforts. Every year,
right? Because I'm not in a shared effort with every other person on the road.
But a shared effort could make it more efficient. Every year, a considerable budget is allocated for improving roads. Our models suggest that a set of solutions for the efficient management of these funds. And just in case you were wondering,
well, then don't turn it over to the government. If you want an efficient management of funds for traffic, it should not be in the hands of the state.
Well,
that's one of your problems.
That begs a whole other question. Then who would manage it in a world where the state owns the vast majority of all the roads?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah. And I think that we would only be able to find out by getting rid of the state and seeing what happens. How do you transition from that to what we're talking about, though? That's the real question is, yes. Do you put the roads up for auction? Do you just cede the roads to the existing property owners alongside the road? And then
I don't think that would work.
Why not?
Because there's too much road to be managed like 10 feet at a time.
But then those property owners could sell their property to a road management company that comes along and offers them some money and says, hey, we'll take care of this for
right.
you.
And so I believe your first solution is that minus the step of ceding it to the property owners first, right? Just a road management company takes over ownership, some form or fashion.
So would it be up to bid? Would the government say, all right, Elm Street in Manchester, we're going to put it up for bid. Whoever pays us the most money, you can have it. Is that what you're saying?
That's one way to allocate it, but I think a road management company will be far more effective than an individual property owner.
I've heard the argument that the people who work on the road, though they kind of have some issues with the fact that they're right now government agents, have already more or less homesteaded the roads. I don't know that argument is particularly solid, but it's an option.
Like just give it to the people currently running it, but make it private.
Yeah, but like the actual,
but
like the actual contractor is not the
Department of Public Works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll buy that.
Should the contractor get the whole city? Should all the roads in Manchester be run by one company? That doesn't sound like a very good solution. That sounds like the monopoly solution. Is that what you were suggesting?
That's not a monopoly. I don't know how it's split up now as far as who works on it.
Well, it is a monopoly if one company owns every road in Manchester.
Right, but that doesn't mean that the same construction crew works on every road in Manchester. I have no idea how that's set up.
Me neither. I don't know if it's going to the highest bidder or the lowest bidder.
But one person
to be
owning
said
a
for
thing.
natural monopolies as well. It may be more
It's not a natural monopoly if the government's handing it to somebody.
But roads might be a natural monopoly. I don't know. We can't know because they're too government-owned right now.
Let's go to Mortified Penguin. He's on the line here on our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. Go ahead, Penguin.
Hey, yeah, I don't have anything to say about roads in particular, but it was kind of a good segue. So you were talking earlier about getting rid of the government. This really couldn't be tied to roads, but just whether we snap your finger and you wish it goes away, or you legislate it out of existence, so you fire all the bureaucrats and everything, and really, or some people suggest armed revolt or something like that. In some sense, I've heard that mentioned, of course. And we have to understand is there is really only, like, if you don't like the way the state runs institutions, there's really only one way, and it's a positive way. It's not destroying or getting rid of, because we simply don't have the power to do that, the government institutions, but alternative institutions have to be created. And it's a two-way street. So people that, for whatever personal preferences, engage in non-governmental institutions, and we engage in non-governmental institutions basically all the time, and relationships not based on force. But people who have these preferences that aren't libertarians need to, be exposed to libertarianism, and libertarians need to further, make use of alternative institutions until the point where those institutions compete with government ones. And
there's not really like a market of competing the private institutions against the government ones. There's plenty of so homeschooling exists and private schools exists.
Yeah.
No amount of homeschooling and private schooling is going to drive the public schools out of, quote, business, because they're not a business. So that
a very large. It's a long road down to that point, but a very large. I mean, the amount of homeschool people were minuscule compared to public schools.
That makes it more difficult.
Well, right. I think what Melanie's pointing out here is, though, even if you manage to seep more public school students into the homeschooling / private schooling area, it's not like the government schools are just going to fold up shop and go away. They're getting tax money.
Yeah, eventually until their base of students just starts to dwindle and really there's a real significant hit.
Well,
if it's on the
but
margins,
there's not a
then no.
hit because it's not a
They keep collecting
for-profit
taxes.
business.
They keep collecting taxes. The only way you're going to hit the system is if people stop paying the taxes.
They'll get their budget raised.
Then you'll hit the system. I wish we had more time, Penguin. Thank you for the call tonight. Call tomorrow. We can talk more then. Online in the meantime at freetalklive.com.
Do you like going to your job every day? Can you set your own schedule and take long vacations whenever you want? Are you free to do whatever you want in your dating or sex life? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio